Hello, this is Renee, and Tom and I are on the Ultimate World Cruise, and we just docked in Palma, Mallorca. It was a late arrival, so we did a walk for wishes at sea. Our excursion was going to be to a beautiful town called Valldemossa and then see the Bellver Castle. Valldemossa dates back to the 13th century. The famous composer Chopin was also known to winter here in 1838 to 1839.
This is the Palma city walls, one of the three city walls that Palma had. About 6 kilometers, protecting the entire city, but today you can only find 1 kilometer.
We're going to the village first, and we'll be back to see this church later.
And this is the Latin name, the original Latin name, Palma. And in here on your left side, the cathedral, and today the royal palace. Okay. And can you see where it's people there by the wall? Well, the sea, the ocean, was up to there, and today is here on your left. In fact, it's split in 6 areas. Palma is one of the areas, and the mountain range is another one. We call it Serra de Tramuntana. Serra is mountain range. Tramuntana, I cannot translate Tramuntana because that's the name of the cold wind from the north. In fact, the Tramuntana mountain range protects the entire island from the cold wind from the north. Okay? It's about 90 kilometers from southwest up to northeast of Mallorca and occupies 30% of the island of Mallorca. The mountains area already. And Valldemossa, our first stop. The name Valldemossa literally means the Musas Valley. What happened? Well, the people who occupy Mallorca or set up in Mallorca, the first one came from the mainland. In fact, came from the area of Valencia, so the eastern side of the mainland, and established in Mallorca in 3,800 years before Jesus Christ. They established here, but the first city that we can find is Palma. Palma is a Roman city created in 123 before Christ, so 123. And we know that this area, there was people around here, but there are no Roman remains, only Palma, our main city. And what happened? The early 10th century, 902, the Muslims came from the mainland, from the area of Andalusia, and Palma became Medina Mallorca. Medina means city, Mallorca, the largest one. And they, the Muslims, split the island in 13 different districts. This is one of the districts. Small area, it was Musa. This side is full of valleys. So the Musas valleys, that's Valldemossa. That's the name, okay? We know that originally in that village, in that area, there was a small Muslim temple and a small mosque, 3 streets and 2 squares. And what happened? 300 years later, mid 13th century, the Christians came from the mainland as well, and he conquered Medina Mallorca and then conquered Mallorca, the entire island. They destroyed all the Muslims' buildings, all the Muslim remains, and Vallis Musa became Valldemossa, a Christian village. Okay, today where is the church? The Paris Church, Saint Bartholomew. It was located the mosque.
We walked the streets for about an hour, picked up some local pastry, and then headed back into Palma. We get back on the bus and take a short 20-minute ride back into town. Our next stop is the magnificent Cathedral of St. Mary of Palma. This Gothic masterpiece was built on the site of a former mosque and took several centuries to complete, starting in 1229. The cathedral features one of the largest rose windows in the world and stunning works by Antonio Gaudi.
And the angel on top of it, it was placed there to Christianize the entire city in the 1300s. It worked as a weather vane. It turns when the wind blows. And no natural light because almost all the windows were blocked. Then, as in many temples or in many cathedrals, the choir where the people sing was located right here, just blocking the entire area, and the people couldn't gather around the cathedral. And the third problem, probably the main problem, the bishop throne, the cathedral. You can see there, the bottom wall. What happened? That the Mallorcan bishop couldn't use the throne because it was concealed by two altarpieces. Our bishop used a wooden chair. Okay? So this new bishop in Mallorca in 1898, a quite young bishop, only 39 years old, and he didn't like it. And he decided to talk to Gaudi and explain this new project, a cathedral for the people, a throne for the bishop, and a high altar for God, full of light. And Gaudi said yes. He came in 1904. And that's the main problem. Only the bishop was supporting the idea. The rest of the people, the canons, the rest of the people working in here, it wasn't supporting this idea. They thought that why do you need to modify or redesign the cathedral if it has been like this for centuries? Okay? The thing is that the bishop died in 1914, 10 years later. The Gaudi's work is not finished because Gaudi left and he never came back. And we decided not to finish the Gaudi's work. Some windows, some of them were opened in 1904, others in 1920s, others in 1940s, and others during the 1970s. But for the first time, natural light in here. And Gaudi introduced the electrical light. All those iron rings around here, or the light there into the great chapel, or the royal chapel, as we call it, that's Gaudi. So for the first time, light into that temple. And it's said that this is the first Spanish cathedral with electrical light in 1904.
In 2007, the Chapel of the Holy Sacrament underwent a dramatic transformation by a contemporary artist. His style clashed with the traditional Gothic architecture. It is also said that it cost $4.5 million, partially funded by the public. His work brings a unique contemporary touch to this sacred space, blending modern art with centuries-old tradition. As we leave the church, we walk across a glass floor that has the Roman ruins under it. We're still inside the church area, walk through some alleys, and we see this. This Gothic masterpiece took several centuries to build, starting in 1229. It's simply amazing. We hop on the bus and take a short ride to the castle.
And until 1970s, it wasn't used as a museum, as the main museum in Palma. And this road, it was built by the Republican prisoners that were here in 1936 to 1939.
When we get there, the castle is closed. Evidently, it's closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. We were able to walk up some steps and get some great views, though. We get back to the ship. Time to sail away as the harbor pilot jumps on the ship. Here's our itinerary for the next 4 ports. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more adventures from every corner of the globe. See you at the next port.